Happy Valentine's Day. For many, it's a day filled with love, laughter, and the joy of giving. But in 2026 there's something else in the air: sticker shock. This year the cost of celebrating has reached new heights, leaving couples and families everywhere doing a double take at the checkout counter. In 2026, love comes with a hefty price tag. Whether you're shopping for a romantic dinner, a thoughtful gift, or even just a simple card, you're likely to feel the pinch. Walk into any store, and you'll notice chocolates, roses, jewelry, everything costs more than last year. The price tags are hard to ignore, and for many, it's a real shock to the system. It's not just a feeling, the numbers back it up. Shoppers are pulling out their phones, double-checking prices, and wondering if they can really afford to celebrate the way they used to. Chocolate prices are up 14% from last year, double the previous increase. Flowers, up 6%. Jewelry, up 7%. These aren't just small bumps, they're the biggest jumps we've seen in years. Even fun little gifts like mini speakers or water bottles have jumped 26%. It's not just the big-ticket items. Every little gesture of love now comes with a bigger bill. And if you're planning a special night out, be prepared for higher prices at restaurants too. Fixed menus and special deals aren't as affordable as they once were, making even a simple dinner feel like a luxury. Inflation is everywhere, making every Valentine's purchase feel like a splurge. The cost of celebrating love has never been higher, and it's forcing people to make tough choices about how they show they care. This isn't just about one holiday, it's a sign of deeper economic strain. Rising prices are squeezing budgets, and for many the stress is starting to overshadow the celebration. When a box of candy or bouquet becomes a financial stress, it's clear something's off. People are rethinking their plans, cutting back, or even skipping gifts altogether. Americans everywhere are asking, why is everything so expensive? The conversations aren't just about love anymore, they're about making ends meet. The answer lies in a mix of global events, supply chain issues, and policy decisions. From shipping delays to rising production costs, every link in the chain is feeling the pressure. Let's break down what's really driving these Valentine's Day price hikes, and what it means for the way we celebrate love in 2026. Chocolate's gotten bitterly expensive, and for many of us, that's a tough pill to swallow. What used to be a simple treat or a quick pick-me-up now feels like a luxury item, with prices that seem to climb higher every time you visit the store. But this isn't just a case of bad luck or random inflation. There's a complex web of reasons behind the sticker shock you're seeing in the chocolate aisle. The main culprit? A severe cocoa bean shortage, triggered by extreme weather events in West Africa, the region responsible for producing about 70% of the world's cocoa. Droughts, heavy rains, and disease have devastated crops, leaving farmers struggling to keep up with global demand. As a result, cocoa prices have skyrocketed, jumping from $2,500 to nearly $13,000 per metric ton in 2025. That's an unprecedented surge, sending shockwaves through the entire chocolate industry. Even though prices have recently dropped by about 30%, you're probably wondering why you haven't seen any relief at the checkout counter. The chocolate bars on the shelves still cost just as much, if not more than before. The reason? Major chocolate companies like Hershey and Mondelez don't buy cocoa beans on a whim. They lock in their supplies months, sometimes even years, in advance, often at the highest prices during the peak of the crisis. That means the chocolate you see in stores today was made with cocoa purchased when prices were at their highest. Until those expensive inventories are used up, the savings from lower cocoa prices won't trickle down to consumers. On top of that, there are still lingering tariffs and increased costs for packaging and production materials. Even as cocoa tariffs have been lifted, other fees and supply chain disruptions continue to drive up the final price. Cardboard, foil, and shipping costs have all risen, and these expenses get passed along to you, the shopper. The supply chain is still feeling the aftershocks of the global crisis. Meanwhile, price fatigue is setting in. Many people are cutting back on chocolate purchases, but retailers are hesitant to lower prices, worried about their own shrinking profit margins. It's a perfect storm. Bad weather, market speculation, and leftover tariffs all colliding at once. The result? A chocolate market that's slow to recover, even as some costs begin to fall. Until companies work through their pricey inventory and the supply chain stabilizes, chocolate will likely remain a costly indulgence. the supply chain's long memory means relief is slow to arrive. For now, the bitter truth is that your favorite chocolate bar may stay out of reach for a while longer. Flowers weren't spared either. Prices rose 6% this year. Shipping a rose from South America to your local florist takes energy, labor, and logistics, all of which cost more now. High fuel prices, labor shortages, and increased wages drive up costs at every step. Trade policies and tariffs add more uncertainty and expense. That simple bouquet now reflects a global chain of rising costs. Jewelry and popular gifts are pricier thanks to tariffs. Most jewelry is imported, and tariffs mean higher costs for retailers, and for you. A bracelet that cost $100 now costs $115 or more, and stores pass that on. Promotional items like mini speakers and water bottles, mostly made abroad, have jumped 26% due to tariffs. These hidden taxes make even small gifts surprisingly expensive. It's not just brands raising prices, it's government policy at work. Decisions in Washington directly impact what you pay at the mall. Not everything got pricier. Some gifts bucked the trend. Perfume and cosmetics rose just 1%, likely because their supply chains weren't hit as hard. The beauty industry's competition keeps prices in check. Wine is actually 1% cheaper this year, thanks to strong grape harvest and fewer supply chain issues. Inflation isn't universal, it's a patchwork of different problems. Bad weather, tariffs, and supply chain snags hit some products, but not all. Knowing these differences helps explain why some gifts sting your wallet more than others. When prices rise, leaders rush to offer solutions. President Trump has loudly promised to end inflation and make America affordable again. Recently, he's claimed victory, saying prices are coming down fast, and inflation we've solved. This confident message reassures supporters and credits his leadership for any good news. But for many Americans, the reality at the checkout doesn't match the rhetoric. When you see a 14% jump in chocolate prices, it's hard to believe inflation is done. The gap between political messaging and real-life prices fuels frustration. Americans are left wondering who to trust, politicians or their own wallets. Political messaging on the economy is often contradictory, leaving many Americans unsure of what to believe. Politicians from both sides of the aisle make bold claims about economic progress or disaster, often depending on what suits their agenda at the moment. The result is a constant stream of mixed messages that can be hard to untangle. For example, Donald Trump frequently claims to have solved inflation, touting his policies as the reason for any positive economic news. Yet, when concerns about affordability arise, he sometimes dismisses them as a Democrat hoax, suggesting that any bad news is simply made up by his opponents. This strategy allows him, and many other politicians, to take credit for good news while brushing off bad news as fake or exaggerated. It's a clever way to avoid responsibility, but it leaves voters feeling like they're not getting the full story. The result? Everyday Americans are left confused, trying to make sense of headlines that rarely match what they see in their own lives. When the cost of groceries or gas goes up, it doesn't matter what politicians say. The impact is real. The real reasons for high prices are complex and often have little to do with political talking points. Factors like extreme weather, global supply chain disruptions, tariffs, and even international conflicts all play a role in driving up costs. These are issues that can't be solved with a soundbite or a campaign slogan. Yet these important details are often drowned out by the noise of political blame games. Instead of honest conversations about what's really happening, we get finger-pointing and oversimplified narratives that don't help anyone understand the true challenges. Most Americans, up to 85%, still feel squeezed, even when the stock market is hitting record highs. Rising prices for essentials like food, rent, and healthcare mean that many families are struggling to keep up, no matter what the headlines say. After all, the stock market doesn't pay for groceries or Valentine's gifts. For most people, what matters is how far their paycheck goes at the end of the month, not how well Wall Street is doing. When leaders' words don't match the lived experience of ordinary people, trust in government and institutions erodes. People start to tune out, feeling like no one is really listening to their struggles. This disconnect leaves people feeling unheard and frustrated by those who claim to fight for them, but seem out of touch with daily realities. It's no wonder so many feel alienated from the political process. The growing gap between political rhetoric and economic reality is at the heart of today's anxiety. Until leaders address the real issues facing Americans, that sense of disconnect will only deepen. So, will things ever get cheaper? There's a glimmer of hope for chocolate. With cocoa prices dropping, companies like Mondelez expect lower costs to reach consumers by late 2026 or 2027. Relief may come by Halloween or next Easter if supply chains stabilize. But for goods hit by tariffs, prices won't fall unless policies change. Energy and labor costs are also unpredictable. For now, being a smart, informed shopper is your best defense. Maybe this year, a home-cooked meal and a bottle of wine make more sense than pricey gifts. Understanding what drives prices is the first step to weathering the economic storm.